Hello, I guess we're live. I'm just going to sit here awkwardly for a second just to make sure. How are all of you guys doing today? I am Josh, joined by Caitlin and Rob and JD, who this is his first time, I think, on camera with the Illuminerdi. If anyone's been following us for a couple of years now, I think the last time you were on camera was Common Writer Corner, maybe?
Yeah, I think that. No, when we did our goodbye show on that hashtag show.
Yeah. Memories. All right, let's erase those and move on to this week. So, how are all you guys doing? What have you been up to? Did I miss anything big over the past week? Any of you get married, buy Tesla, become Dogecoin millionaires? I don't.
I lost a lot of money in Dogecoin.
Did you really?
I did. I thought it was a joke, and then I realized, man, that sucked. I shouldn't have put that much money into it. It wasn't really a joke.
That sucks.
I've actually been more worried about who that person was that, everybody was like, that there are two characters at the end of Bad Batch we're talking to on that hologram. That's really what I've been wondering all week. I mean, I have my assumptions. I'm hoping it's Ahsoka, and I gotta throw this out there. I don't like those two characters. They bored me to death when they were on screen to begin with.
JD, what about you? You weren't here for our discussion on last week's episode. Who do you think that character at the end might have been, and what did you think of Trace and
Rafa.
Rafa.
I don't know. They're whatever. I have no opinion on them. I was like, oh, hey, look, they used them again. Awesome. I think it has to be Ahsoka, right? Because they didn't interact with anybody else. So it only makes sense for them for it to be Ahsoka, I think. Unless it's like someone else, like maybe someone sinister. But the way like they've been doing the reveals and stuff, it's been pretty obvious, I guess, if you've been following everything. So
yeah.
It's probably
Ahsoka. I think what threw off both Caitlin and myself was that ominous sounding music that they were playing when it popped up, when that person popped up.
The only one that may, Kanan isn't old enough. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it'd be, but I remember when they showed those characters in Clone Wars, it was like, man, this is just dragging on. Like, just get through in an episode what you did in 3. I don't know.
The only reason I wouldn't say Ahsoka, because she is the most logical choice, is they said that they had to talk to him. So that made me think it's either Rex or maybe Senator Organa, who are Ahsoka's allies. That's the only reason. But based off purely like who should it be, Ahsoka is the one that makes the most sense. And then, I mean, my opinion on Rafa and Trace isn't necessarily the norm. I understood the importance of the storyline for Ahsoka's development. So I enjoyed it for that aspect of it, because without that, we don't get the Ahsoka from The Mandalorian. Because without that, we don't have her really understanding what the Jedi could be without the corruption and politics that the Jedi Order fell into. At least on screen.
I think she already had that before she even met them.
But she wasn't going out of her way to just randomly help people like we saw with that. That was kind of the storyline of showing her like helping people by herself. Because from there, all we'd seen happen is she left the Order. This was the next step from that to get to the next points.
I think more or less I was getting on the point of seeing the corruption of the Republic, I guess, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, I like that too. I thought it was an important step to see on screen of Ahsoka, so that we could see where she got to. And I also liked seeing the underbelly of Coruscant, because we didn't see a lot of that. So while I understand why that storyline didn't hold up as well as the Bad Batch and then the big like Siege of Mandalore, because it kind of got sandwiched between two pretty major storylines, I did enjoy it probably more than a lot of people.
I was really hoping, because we were on Corellia too last week's episode, was we would have seen some people who lived on Corellia. They're like, famous,
like Han Solo and Kira.
Yeah. You had like a beautiful aspect to be able to put him in there.
And it didn't even have to be big. It could be a cameo like they did with Kanan.
Yeah.
With Kanan. Yeah.
Mark Hamill could have done the voice.
That or I forget the character's name. I feel really bad at saying this, but the girl who was in Solo,
Kira.
Kira. You could have had Kira or something in that aspect. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been like a nice little touch of, oh, you're on Corellia. Okay.
Yeah. Or just like have Kira and Solo like just run through the back or something like that. Like where it's like clearly them. But
just like
running after, like, where's my spice sticks?
Yeah. You don't even need the Bad Batch to like interact with them. You just need to be like, okay. That's that dude. Oh, I know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just to
I mean, it would like see them like tell them like something like that they like, stole or something like that.
Yes. Exactly.
I think I got that. You were breaking up a little bit, but I think I understood what you were saying. Really quick, I just want to hop over to the chat. Donnie Pearson is here as always. Thank you for joining us, Donnie. Rob White, you're in the chat. That's crazy. You're right. You're there on the screen, and you're there in the chat.
Man.
I don't. That's some force shit right there. Toku Kid, how's it going? In the chat, Toku, Donnie, what did you guys think of last week's episode, and what are you guys expecting to see this week? Have you had any changes in opinion since a week ago, or are you pretty much in the same spot that you were then? Let us know. What about you guys? Expectations for tonight? Has anything changed since our discussion last week?
I mean, I want to see more of the Bad Batch really being a team going on mercenary missions. I'm sure we'll get more into the whole Wrecker inhibitor chip thing, which I am simultaneously really interested in and really worried about.
JD, what about you? I know you just talked about last week's episode, but what are you expecting to see this week episode? Do you think we're going to see who that character is that they were speaking to, or do you think that's like a MacGuffin that is going to be like 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes down the line?
Yeah, I don't think we'll know who that is today. I think we're just gonna see Crosshair probably getting into it. I haven't seen any previews or anything like that for tonight's episode, so I'm going in this blind.
Nicholas Wu in the chat says egg. So I guess he's expecting to see like maybe a chicken or something. I don't know. If you would like to clarify that, be my guest. Donnie Pearson says last week's episode was just fine, and let's hope this week's would be better. So last week's was just kind of meh for him, it seems. Toku says that he thought it was okay. No real expectations except for them to go all die or be conscripted, whether it's the rebellion or the empire. I don't see that happening. Just because the series is them. I'm not sure I can agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like the point of the series is it's kind of not going to be fully empire or fully rebellion for these guys.
Right. I would be interested though to see some sort of dilemma with them with that. Obviously with Crosshair there's a bit of that, but with them being like having that like almost like Loki in that premiere episode of Loki where he was kind of having like a existential crisis about who he was. Like,
I mean, I think we are seeing that a little bit here.
Yeah.
Hunter talked about it last episode.
So that's something that I'm really interested in seeing play out a little bit more and getting more of that character development from them. But I kind of feel like also this week it might be time for like more of like that filler type episode where we might not get a whole lot of story. So I am a little concerned about that, but I'm hoping that we do get updates on Crosshair and the cloners, Kaminoans, and maybe more about like who Omega actually is, like more of the deep-seated stuff.
So Toku Kid just said, meh on the show is still kicking off because it just feels like Star Wars Ninja Turtles. I want to know who Splinter is then. I want to know who Splinter is in this thing. Is that Echo?
It's a good question. Who would be the Splinter? Like I feel like it would be Hunter.
Okay.
Although Hunter also kind of feels a little bit like Raphael.
I mean, I would say more Raph because he's got a little bit more. Hey, I'm gonna just kind of go. This is what's gonna happen, and I'm the leader, but I'm not the leader.
Wrecker is definitely Michelangelo.
Wrecker's Michelangelo.
Does Splinter need to be directly involved, or could he come in later? Because if he could come in later, I'd say it would be Rex.
Okay. Yeah. I feel that. Tech has got to be
Donatello. Yeah.
I mean, it's just. By the way, last week's episode, I wasn't on here last week, but Tech annoyed me last week's episode. He's just starting to get more annoying.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't know if anybody else feels that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about.
I thought he was a little better last episode. He was a little less of a jerk, but he has been really annoying in the show.
Yeah. Echo was
Does anyone feel that like Tech and Echo are like redundant characters, kind of?
Yes.
Right now, yeah. They seem like they feel like they're like two sides of the same coin. Like they both have the same purpose, but just do it in slightly different ways.
Well, it's so funny because like when you're breaking up, it sounded like you said Techo, and really that is what they are at this point.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really been identified as their own characters, other than Echo having a couple of kind of funny moments and like a little bit of a teaching moment with Omega last week, and then Tech's like, "Oh, I'm smart." We're like, "Yeah, we got it. Thanks."
Who else do we think we're gonna see this week? Do you think we're gonna see Sid again?
Probably. I mean, they've got to go back with the battle droid head,
which they didn't get.
Right.
Yeah, they gave that to the rebellion.
They gave the stick over to with the copy stick over to the girls, but yeah, it got destroyed. So yeah.
But
see, that was Crisis.
Yeah, and that's the question that we were trying to figure out last week was, did they make two copies of that data, or did they give the only copy to Trace and Jaffa? Do you guys think that they gave their only copy?
I think they have to because they know they have to pay Sid. Sid's gonna protect their back, so they have to do it. They can't go back
I feel like that was their only copy. I feel like it's boring if they have two.
Yeah, it would be convenient. Like I feel like not having that when they go back is going to create some sort of tension. Not necessarily between them and Sid, but at least with the current situation that they're in.
Yeah, maybe they have to go do something more dangerous to make up for it.
Jay, do you think that was their only copy, or do you think they have another one?
It sounded like they just made a copy, so there's a copy in the head, and they have a copy. But I'm hoping that there's some kind of like backlash for not bringing the actual head back. You know?
Yeah. Well, the new episode is up. This week I actually don't have a name or description again. Just episode 7 and the standard. The Bad Batch is making their way in the world today. You know, takes everything you've got.
That's what I got.
Any of you guys, do you have a title or just the generic stuff?
We can find out real quick.
Yeah, Donnie, don't you usually have a title? What do you have?
Yeah, I think Donnie, maybe Dre's Wine, Eins, and Null?
That's him counting down, I think.
Oh, okay.
Get us the title.
Oh, yeah, sorry for the 3-second. New episode has arrived. Okay, yeah, Donnie, if you have the title, let us know because it's not showing up for us.
It's called Battle Scars.
Battle Scars.
Nice.
Interesting. Okay.
Toku Kid asked.
Battle Scars.
Toku Kid asked how many episodes the Bad Batch is. I think it's 16.
16 sounds right to me. I think it's 16.
So we are not even halfway through.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're almost halfway. Almost halfway. We got one more episode.
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah, after next week we'll be halfway through.
I mean,
So
this is like the longest Disney Plus show so far.
yeah. What do you guys think battle scars mean? Do you think that's going to be in a relation to what happened this week and the fallout from them not coming back with the droid head like we were just talking about, or do you think it's going to be a new storyline and they're going to have battle scars from that?
I feel like this is going to be something to where like it's either going to affect the crew or we're going to see another clone.
Yeah. Maybe some stuff comes up from the Clone Wars, or it's an indication of the inhibitor chips, either with Wrecker or Crosshair.
Yeah. Or I guess this could be the introduction of Rex. If he shows up and doing a little bit of not like flashback or something of, okay, this is what he went through before he got to where he's at now when we're meeting him in this place.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So Toku says 16 is a lot. I hope most of the major pushes the final episodes so far with a lot of the Disney shows push everything towards the end.
I think Human isn't the final episodes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it. Yeah. That's a lot. I hope most of the push isn't in the final episode so far. Hoping that it's not back heavy.
But most of these episodes have not been filler episodes like we've seen in Clone Wars so far. These have all been very direct paced episodes with all purpose to them.
Even the one or two episodes that we did say were kind of fillers still had plot development in them, just not quite as much as we've gotten in some of the others.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Omega teaching a dog how to do tricks with a
Right.
I mean, I'd say like the Fennec episode was probably the most fillery, but introducing Fennec was like a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But it was a lot of action though.
Yeah.
It was fun action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Toku has one more question before we get into the episode. Do you think we'll get any Mandalore story set up for more Rebels tie-ins?
I don't necessarily know if we'll get Rebel tie-in set up, because I think at this point the only other ones that are like old enough to not be infants are Hera and Zeb. And Zeb is gonna be on his planet right now, and Hera is, I think, in a similar situation. So maybe if we go to their planets, but I think we'll get Mandalore set up more of the Boba Fett stuff, possibly, or like some of those shows, maybe like Andor or Obi-Wan if we're going to see Bail Organa. I don't necessarily think we're going to get Rebels tie-ins, unless it's Ahsoka.
We already did.
With Kanan. I feel like that's the major one.
Yep.
I mean, we could see like Callus, Agent Callus, I guess, a young Callus.
Yeah, him like starting out with the Empire. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. That this is all new to me. So
Josh, doesn't that sound correct?
Your guess is better than mine. Sure. We'll go with yes. All right. So are you guys queued up and ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Let me
screen
over to my other screen here so I can see what's going on. And all right. Let's get ready to hit play in 3, 2, 1. Play. It's coming out of the wrong place.
So many things to think about. Like,
so I have so many different audio places
on the outside.
If we got Rebel set up, I would want to see Chopper. That's the one I would want to see.
Oh yeah. Chopper's fun.
Chopper would be great.
He's like the cat of Star Wars.
It feels like brand new Chopper, like brand new, like shiny Chopper.
Yeah,
before he became grumpy.
Where he doesn't have to fight for his legs.
I literally only think of them as Techo now. It's like the best thing ever, JD.
All right, so we're jumping into like a whole new story right off the bat.
Yeah. So I guess they did take a new job.
They're already in another job.
What the heck is that? I would so be Wrecker in that situation. I wouldn't care that I was scaring the weird lizard bird. I hope we see her in other stuff. She's fun.
Now that I know it's Carla, it's kind of weird.
You know what? She makes more sense than Maz Kanata right now.
I wouldn't mind seeing her though. She was cool.
I liked Maz in the to a certain point. I think she was she needed more character.
Yeah.
Well, I think if she had more screen time, it would have been better.
Yeah, 100%.
They are such siblings.
Oh, here we go.
Looks like we might get
We're
our
gonna
question
find
answered
out.
of who they were talking to.
Yep.
From the head.
Oh, she's one of those. They're eating Star Wars popcorn.
Put it on Sid's tab. That's great. She kind of reminds me of a Hondo.
Yeah.
What it might be.
There we go.
I mean, that looks like the robe that the dude was wearing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's Rags.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
That's Rags. Here it is.
There we go.
Oh, all right. He's not aged much.
Rex. I'm so excited. It's so weird seeing him without his helmet.
The hair looks a little weird.
He's blonde. Mm. Here we go.
Huh.
Ooh, fun. Oh, good. Cool.
So that's what the scar on the side of his head is, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gonky. It's a weird name for a droid.
I agree. I think it's Omega's
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Do you think Wrecker's reluctance is the chip's programming or actually him?
I think it's him. He seems like the kind of guy that would be afraid of needles.
Must be why Tex being kind of a dink. Because I liked him way more in the other.
He's really fun in the original, like,
Yeah.
4-episode arc.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. You think they would have, like, made or gotten Omega some armor, considering she's the kid and just running around in basically, like, pants and a t-shirt?
He got a.
Yeah,
Did
she's
he
durable.
notice
She's a
he got
kid.
Y-wing? Oh,
She-Hulk
is this Jakku? Is this Jakku?
Oh, they said it was
Like,
Braca.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feels very Jakku, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Scrappers were part of a guild. Has that been established before?
I don't think so.
I don't remember hearing about it, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotta pay your dues, you scrappers. That's what she
Yeah,
said.
it's how.
But she did. She did. Oh.
Oh my
ooh,
gosh.
An eyeball monster.
You're gonna get one of those
Could
eye
we
things
see an
popping
eyeball
up.
monster?
Has Rex been here before? Because he really seems to know where he's going.
I think he was in the battle with us already.
Well, it wasn't this one, because this one crashed on a different planet, I think.
Well, he knows the ship, that's for sure. Or the one
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Zipline.
As he holds his head.
Are you kidding me? They made him do this like last week, and he didn't care for it either.
He doesn't like heights. That was established in like their first arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, eyeball monster.
It's gotta be, right? Oh,
There's a thing. There's a thing.
Bye, Wrecker.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
What just happened?
We
People
just
got him.
lost the best character in the show.
Okay. I literally was like, you can't kill Wrecker.
We're gonna see the whole
Yeah.
thing.
You could kill other characters. Don't kill Wrecker.
Wrecker and Rex, they have to survive.
Yep.
Last time I think I saw that thing was when it was trying to stop the Fellowship from getting into the mines of Moria.
It's that good crossover Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, right? I'm excited for that new animated movie.
Me too.
It's like anime, right?
I think so.
I got a bad feeling about this. I was waiting for one of them to say it. They could have said it right there.
I'm really surprised we haven't had a conversation between Rex and Echo.
Right? They haven't had one.
Like, they're the two I would expect to see. Especially when they mentioned fives, because Echo trained with fives.
Rex is there.
And Rex like, what am I?
Yeah.
They don't know each other yet.
There's like 9 more episodes. You're good, kid.
You're done for, kid. Rex is
What are we
gonna
gonna do?
go
There's
fishing.
only 11 episodes left.
Yeah, there's only 11 episodes left. You'll be done for.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be bad. They're gonna fight Wrecker.
Mm-hmm.
They're all gonna die.
They gotta
They're all
restrain
gonna
him.
die. Wrecker will live.
Who else was?
No one.
He just implied that there were others.
Oh wow, that's new.
Yeah, he said very few. So who else?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Here it goes.
Probably Gregor and Wolf.
Could be.
No, they had theirs removed. Remember, they had a scar.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Here it goes.
They really should have dealt with this sooner.
Yep. It's like the Terminator now. They're all done. Stun him. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, and that's how Echo and them embrace.
Look, they hugged.
Yep, they finally hugged. He's just knocked out.
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Go to sleep, little baby. Uh-oh.
You did not think that's your kiddo.
Nope.
I like how Wrecker is literally wrecking everyone.
Yeah, where's this guy been?
Yeah. This guy hasn't done this much damage.
Is he gonna open the door? Like, just like pull it up.
Yup.
Yeah.
Really easily.
Does this remind you of the Hulk scene in Avengers with Black Widow?
Yeah.
Someone's coming out. And it's a rat.
Ooh, it's Splinter. I knew Splinter was Joe.
Full circle moment.
Yep.
She's not very good at this.
Nope.
Hi, Rex.
Wait, did you pick Echo up off your body? Must have.
Just kind of rolled him over.
Yeah.
Great, so that was super unhelpful, Tech.
Who's gonna do text procedure?
I like the use of the Star Wars wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was a bit posh.
Mhm.
No.
Like you weren't worried? Why doesn't Omega have one?
No, yeah, Dutek. I want to see him be a good guy again.
Yeah.
Oh, they already did it.
Oh.
Do you think he remembers all of that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Aww.
They're so sweet. Can the show just be them?
Now I want to make popcorn.
I want to know where she was putting that.
It's right next to the
That
tots.
was extra crunchy. Okay. So he doesn't say anything to Echo.
Right? And he disappears into the fog.
It's so weird. All you did was have Echo fly on you.
Who is this?
The
That's Scrappers.
Scrappers.
The Scrappers. The Jedi Cruiser?
Yeah.
Who had the Jedi Cruiser?
It's what they were getting the chips removed on.
Yeah, they said that before they got onto it.
Oh, okay.
I got to move my screens around so I can see, and I'm looking in the right direction again. Okay. All right. Nick Brunswick is in the chat, and he said he called it last week with Rex, and is giving us, the middle fingers, because we doubted him. I didn't necessarily doubt. I didn't know.
Doubt. I thought Rex was a really good option.
Yeah.
I also thought there were other good options.
He also says he thinks maybe Vader will be seen at the end of the season. Luca Konigs is here. Hello, thank you, welcome. We just ended the episode, so it seems like we're all synced up now again. So what do you guys think? JD, you are the newest member here, so I'm going to start with you. Give us your thoughts on this episode.
I thought it was a good episode. We knew that Becker's chip was gonna eventually go off at some point. I thought it would be more dramatic, I guess. So I don't know. It was a good, decent episode. I don't think it was it helped build the relationship between Wrecker and Omega more. But didn't seem to do anything else besides take their chips out.
So for me, we've been talking about the chips since the beginning of the series, and I thought it was going to be dragged out a little bit longer. I wasn't expecting that we were going to see them all taken out at the same time in the same episode within 4 minutes of each other. So I felt like there could have been a little bit more buildup. Like in this episode, maybe they found Rex filled them in on the information and was like, I can't get you any place where you can get these out. So we're going to have to try and find something and like have that take up a couple of other episodes. But it wasn't bad. I don't know, Rob, you're shaking your head there. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you. I feel like we got that in like a 3-second exposition. I felt like when he was getting his inhibitor chip taken out. I mean, that's the most amount that like no one's ever been able to wreck the Bad Batch that much, other than the Bad Batch themselves. I don't think we've ever seen like Wrecker do that much damage hand-to-hand combat. Like he's done a ton of damage, but like the rest of the team had no chance. It felt like for a bit.
I mean, he does seem like he's the strongest member of the team. Like brute physical strength, just the strongest member of the team.
But I'd say also too, they didn't really want to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I mean, we obviously saw a bunch of stun shots being fired off. But my one thought that kind of gets me a little irritated is Echo's just kind of thrown off to the side, man. We used to have like a whole bunch of episodes in Clone Wars about, Rex trying to find Echo, and he was so enthralled that he had to go find him. He just had a gut instinct that he was alive. And we didn't get really any interaction with those two.
I mean, that was the entire arc that introduced the Bad Batch. It was Rex saying, Echo's alive, we have to find him. And then the first time he sees him after Order 66, it's like, hey, that's it.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, not knowing their history since I haven't seen it in those other episodes, you could tell from their interaction that there was a history there. So it definitely felt a little weird to me that there wasn't more of a discussion about where they were just in general in their life, like what was going on, how they ended up where they're at. It was just like, oh, hey, I found you guys. Let's go get this stuff taken care of. There was no character development between all of them. So that leads me to think, on one hand, that we're not going to see Rex again. But on the other hand, at the end, when Hunter was like, hey, if you need us, let us know, that would seem to indicate otherwise, that we are going to see him again. So I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it'd be almost a waste if this was the only time we saw Rex in the entire season. Because, I mean, this episode's conflict felt kind of anticlimactic. We've been building to this, and then it's like, oh, you have to get this taken out. Oh, okay, we can do that right now. Like you were saying, I would have rather had it be where they knew it was essentially a ticking, because it seemed like they didn't really realize it was a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So I would have rather have them sit with that for a while. And I also thought the mention of Fives was really wasted, because him and Echo, like, they literally were together from the beginning. Like they were the only two surviving members of their group
base.
Of clones for a really long time. So the fact that it got revealed to him that Fives knew about the inhibitor chips, and that's why he died, and there was no comment, just felt like really it was pointless.
It was kind of a throwaway line.
Yeah.
It's interesting, because to me, I hate that I have to keep bringing this up, but having no previous knowledge of this, like, I wouldn't know any of that. But if they had gone into more detail about that, I feel like it could have been done in such a way where it would have filled me as a viewer in on what happened without confusing me about what had happened previously. It did, like, the pacing felt a little off, just with the information that they were, like, the exposition part of what was going on, I guess.
I mean, for me, other than Wrecker, and like Wrecker Omega's a relationship, this episode felt like it had a lot of really big missed opportunities.
It was kind of a popcorn episode.
I see what you did there. I don't know,
Yeah.
JD. How did you feel about like the actual like the story that we got within this episode? Do you think do you think they gave us enough information, or are you kind of with us that it felt a little off? Where JD is frozen, maybe. I think JD is frozen.
I think JD's frozen.
So we'll come
Nick
back to you,
Brunswick
JD.
really is this? I don't know. Maybe it was someone else, but he said that he thinks it would have been better if Wrecker was killed by Omega. Like he acknowledges, it is a kid show, so I don't think that would happen. Also, don't kill Wrecker. He's the best one.
I feel like we've almost had Wrecker die twice in this show. In alone.
were you able to hear the conversation that we were having while you were staring blankly off into space?
No.
Okay.
No, it was like
we have already figured out Thanksgiving fixings. We're bringing popcorn.
I saw something
Star
about
Wars
it.
popcorn.
Turkey dancing or something like that.
You saw the turkey dancing?
Yes, that's the Bad Batch
So,
dance. That's it,
Bad
Batch dance.
long story short, all of us kind of agreed that this episode felt like it was badly paced. That the part that the whole thing with the chip in their head and them finding out that it was a ticking time bomb and that they needed to get them removed should have taken more than just this one episode. Rex was kind of a waste because he came in, he was like, hey, this thing in your head could make you go all Order 66 and slaughter everyone that you actually care about, so you need to get it taken out. And then that was kind of the end of him, and he just walked off into the clouds at the end.
Like we said, it's not like it's hard to bring him back.
Yeah. So where do you fall on that? Do you think that this was a good fleshed out episode, or do you think it could have been better?
I think it could have been better. I think like the whole chip thing could have been better. I was expecting them to be like in some kind of battle with Crosshair, and then like his ship would turn on, and he would turn on them during the battle.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Like, yeah, that would have been like an interesting. Like maybe they knock him out and like they take him with him, but like that would have been just like this level of like, oh, we're so effed right now.
Yeah, and they're the ones who have to find Rex. That would have been better.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. It like we all knew that an episode like this was coming, because the previous 6 have been like pretty good. So it would have been unusual for there to be an episode that wasn't like up there somewhere. I'm just kind of disappointed that we actually figured it out.
How many times has Wrecker got knocked around so much that it just probably rattled his brain too much?
Well, that's why we thought that it was going to be a thing that would just come out. Like I honestly thought that that he was going to turn and they were going to have to find Rex to try and figure out what was going on with him, because of not wanting the same thing that like him to go down the Crosshair path or not having to kill him. It just kind of all
expecting that.
It was all just too quick.
Did anybody notice what ship Rex had, by the way?
Did we see his ship?
Yeah, they all parked and he had a Y-wing.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was. I'm sure Shay could probably flip over there.
He had a Y-wing. It was a blue one.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of interesting. Is how is he getting around? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't.
Well,
really
he did disappear into the fog, so maybe he like absorbed into it, and he can like zap himself around.
He's fog now.
He is the fog. He's the smoke monster.
Because Caitlin, what happened to Rex before? Like, I forget. He just got away from.
Yeah. So at the end of the whole Siege of Mandalore arc, like Order 66 happens, Rex basically says to Ahsoka, like, look for fives or something. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he referenced fives, I think. And so she figured out what was going on. She managed to grab him and get the chip out of him. And then they basically had to fight their way off the ship and use Maul as a distraction, who made the ship crash. So all the other clones died other than Rex and Ahsoka, which is part of, I think, why Rex was so messed up. I was surprised he was, I guess, actively working with the rebellion, maybe, because they made it really seem like in Rebels that was never a thing he did.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. That's why I was like, the last time I remember seeing him in this aspect, they were like worried about crashing the ship, because they all turned, but she took the chip out of his head.
Yeah, like the ship crashed and everyone died but her and Rex, and they buried all the clones.
Right. And then we didn't see them again, and that's when the snow came over top, and then Darth Vader shows up and sees the... Yeah. And so we really haven't seen Rex since then.
No, the next time we saw Rex was in Rebels when he was on the walker with Gregor. Yeah, with Gregor and Wolf, and it seemed like he'd never worked with any sort of rebellion at that point because they were trying to recruit him, and he's like, "Nah, I fought my war."
Yeah, he's like, I've already done that.
So I was a little surprised that he seemed to be actively working with them. I assumed he was looking for clones that he could help. Like that's because I'm curious how he found Gregor and Wolf. Because he also implied in the episode there's other clones who are immune. He's like very few are immune.
That may be Gregor and Wolf, and maybe we might see them by the end of this season.
'66 killed their Jedi, and now I have to just kind of live with that.
Well, yeah, because even Wrecker went and came back and said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing."
Well, and at the end of last week's episode, when Trace and Jaffa were talking with Rex, they said, "Hey, we found a group of rogue clones. I thought you would want to know about it." So that to me suggests that he's been out looking for rogue clones and like not necessarily building an army, but making a network of all of them.
With Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I wouldn't know.
I mean, he referenced her a couple times. He didn't say her name, but when they were like, "How did you get away?" and he's like, "I had help." That was Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the end of this episode, we saw the scrappers saw that their Bad Batch was there, and they were going to notify the Empire.
The Empire. Yeah. Apparently, there's a scrapper guild.
Yeah. So JD, do you think this means that next week we're finally going to see Crosshair again, or are we going to assume that we're going to see Crosshair again and we're not?
I hope we see Crosshair. I mean, it's been what, like 4 episodes now, 3-4 episodes. So
yeah, episode 3 was the last time we saw him.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's been 4.
Yeah. So it'd probably have to do with that new agent guy, not agent, but the new Imperial guy that they should keep showing.
The hologram dude. That's like come and get your Imperial credits.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be him probably like telling Crosshair and them like to go on this mission to go find them or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they have the perfect setup for it, so why not lean into it at this point?
Yeah, Rob, what are you expecting something different next week, or do you think that's where we're heading?
I mean, I think they're gonna go back to Sid's and figure out what's going on with her, because I feel like eventually Sid may turn on them.
Really?
I feel like, yeah, I think Sid could turn on them at some point, because maybe at some point they go, "We're not going to do this job anymore. You're not paying us enough, and we do too much work for you not to pay us." At some point, I feel like there's going to be a breaking point, and or either Sid is going to like them so much that she's going to like try to help them escape.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see 2 ways of going with Sid, but I think they'll be back doing something with Sid, because that seems to be like the home base, or like the Batcave, or like the Justice League lair, or So I feel like they always have to go back there, because that's kind of like where their home is outside their spacecraft, right?
Right. Well, I mean, at the beginning of this episode, you mentioned Maz Kanata, and this feels like her place.
Kind of, and like I said before, at first part of the episode, I feel like Maz was a very underrated storyline, and I feel like to an extent, it's kind of like, maybe getting into the point of, it's not really like Sid has a side to pick.
Mm-hmm.
She has more or less kind of like, "Hey, you're going to go make me money? Go make me money. You guys are trained clones that have 2 things that can happen. you die and it doesn't matter to me because you're just clones and I'm just making money, or you get the job done and you keep working for me until I don't have any more use for you.
Right.
But the only thing I think she'll have a little bit of empathy for at the end of the day is going to be with Omega, because Omega's the kid section. Without Omega, I don't feel that some people will feel as much compassion for these guys without her there.
Well, she seems to be the only one Sid actually likes too.
Yep.
Yeah, because she, to me, she kind of feels like what was it, JD, not you, JD, but in the Last Jedi, the guy who ended up helping Poe or Finn on.
Yeah, the one that Rob hates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Canto Bite.
Yeah. You're talking about Benicio del Toro's character.
Yeah. Where he was like, listen, the Empire, the rebellion, does it really make a difference to me?
Yeah, the convenience of it all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she's that far into it. I think I think she does have a little bit more of a soft side for the people from the Republic because she was an ally of the Jedi. I just also think she is having that moment of, I was an ally of the Jedi. What exactly did that do for me? Because
thank you, Shay. His name was DJ, not JD.
Mm-hmm.
I had the right letters, the wrong order. What
nice, Rob. Nice.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I feel like for her at this point, it's like all the Jedi are dead. I was an ally of them, so that's super not helpful to me. And I bet she's probably not like necessarily the Empire's favorite person. I wouldn't be shocked if they were maybe, because they're definitely looking for people that help the Jedi. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Empire was maybe looking for her. Unless
she's useful to them too. Like if she rides that line where the crime informant guy, where he might do like he might hack something here, petty larceny there, but he helps the cops, so they let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has that more with the crime families.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna be more someone that would maybe sell them out to like the bounty hunters through Jabba
like the Hutts or
Yeah, I could see that happening. But no, I think
profit out of it regardless.
Yeah, I could see them going back to Sid's and doing a job next week and having Crosshair as kind of a parallel story where he started hunting for them. I don't necessarily think we'll be getting a confrontation next week, but I do think we're due to actually see what's going on with him.
I mean, after this week's episode.
Or if the Kaminoans or something are trying to, find them, would she sell them out to the Kaminoans for, or whoever's going to pay high price?
Yeah, maybe. It depends on how much
you have
money
to
she's making from them.
Yeah, that the Kaminoans and the Empire are kind of both going after them for different reasons.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
the Empire
wants the Kaminoans are going for the same reasons as like you said, it's different. It's different for both.
The Kaminoans are going for Omega. Because she apparently represents the next generation of clones, and they don't want to lose that. Whereas the Empire doesn't give a shit about that, but they want to get the Bad Batch because they're like, okay, well, they're traitors, and they're probably gonna go help the rebellion now. And we can't have that because they're clones and they know everything.
Do we think that maybe Omega's got some kind of like special power or something with her because she's like one of a kind?
There's been a lot of discussion about her being force sensitive.
Yeah, I don't. JD, what do you think? We haven't heard from you about her. What are your thoughts on Omega and who she actually is, what she can do, whether she's force sensitive or not?
I mean, she's probably force sensitive. I mean, that's the way it kind of seems like they're playing her. It doesn't seem like she's like exactly a clone, like completely off of Jango Fett. So maybe they mix DNA with other Jedi that they know of, and
So is she Arnold Schwarzenegger or Danny DeVito?
I mean, if this Carla
Jeremy
is
Piven.
Sid, right?
Jeremy
That's
Piven.
DeVito, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious
Well,
if she actually is a clone of Jango Fett.
Yeah, I just I don't know. Like it.
Shay.
Yeah, I don't know. What else? Like, is there anything else that stood out from this episode that we haven't kind of touched on that you guys were like, oh, this is something that is a thing?
Now that you're speaking about like her being a possible like Jedi clone, Force Unleashed did that whole thing where it was Starkiller in a video game, but it was apprentice for Darth Vader. So, and it was Sam Witwer. So
yeah.
I can't imagine why they couldn't. And this is about that timeline and about that time where they were doing that. And I can't imagine why they wouldn't have tried to clone Jedis as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can only imagine that they would have tried. So I mean, oops, sorry. Go ahead, JD.
The Legend series, they did it with like they cloned a bunch of them. So like I think Luke got cloned, Obi-Wan got cloned, so the Emperor got cloned.
Yeah, I mean, we know the Emperor obviously is interested in Force-sensitive clones. We have that with Mandalorian, with the midichlorian blood. We have it in the comics where Vader has Luke's severed hand. We know it from the sequel trilogy. So having it pop up here wouldn't be a huge surprise. I think it would be interesting to see who they cloned, because I kind of assumed they did it without the Jedi knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
They also brought it up in the Lego series. There was like that Yoda Chronicles thing, and the clone that he was dealing with was Force sensitive to, or like he had Force powers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where that's a plot line that I feel needs to be developed, because it just kind of got thrown at us in the sequel trilogy. And then in The Mandalorian, we know that they were trying to clone Baby Yoda. So the Mandalorian is what, 25-ish years before the sequels?
I think so.
Something like that. So it would make sense that in this era, which is kind of between the prequel trilogy and A New Hope, that there was a little bit of that happening, like that was starting, because Baby Yoda, we know, was born sometime around the same time that Luke was, or before Luke, right?
He was he was part of the Jedi Temple. He got rescued from it.
Mm.
He kind of, he wasn't the best student.
Yeah, I remember he was like 50 years old when we met him.
Yeah.
So that's
sorry. Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 50 at the beginning of the series. See, mine's sitting over there someplace. Right? Yeah. No. Oh no, mine's up there. You can't see it. It's out of frame.
Do you have a Grogu?
Yeah. I've got the giant Funko.
Nice.
I guess I can.
I have one of those Squishmallows.
Are you killing Grogu with the Darksaber?
Trying to clean his ear.
I got Grogu with looks like popcorn.
It's the Star Wars popcorn.
The kicks.
Yeah, that was cool. We got a new Star Wars food introduced. Do you think they're going to have that at Galaxy's Edge?
Ooh, that would be smart of them.
I mean, it looked like candy-coated popcorn. So
it really did.
It'd be super easy to do.
Yeah. I don't know. So what's left that we need to go over? Is there anything?
I mean, I'm just kind of bummed. Like, I did not expect to be not excited about the episode where Rex came back.
I wanted more water monster.
Yeah.
Way more water monster. They hinted too much, and then we didn't really see much of it.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel like that was the same thing in A New Hope, when the eye creature pulled Luke underneath the water.
That was funnier though.
Yeah, it was way funny.
Yeah. But time wise, you figure that movie was somewhere around the 2-ish hours, and this episode was 28 minutes, which
Yeah,
it
but
actually didn't. It didn't feel like 28 minutes.
This could have been a two-parter. This could have been a two-parter. You know,
It probably should have been.
It could have been a 3-parter.
Yeah, this should have been an arc.
Yeah,
yep.
I agree. All right, so before we wrap up, let's. I know where we're all gonna fall on this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Overall opinion of this episode. You don't need to give me a number ranking. You don't need to rank the past 6 episodes ahead of this one. But where in general, where would this fall in your ranking of the series so far? JD, let's start with you.
I guess like the bottom of it. I mean, it was like a whatever episode. I don't know. Like there was nothing great. I mean, it was okay. Whatever.
Rob?
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I feel like there was a lot of like things missing in the episode that could have been easily done, but we got to see Rex for a little bit. That was cool.
Wrecker was good.
Wrecker was great. I think this was probably some of the best Wrecker storytelling in my opinion. I mean, as for whatever episode it is, for what it is, I mean, we really got to see some good Wrecker stuff.
Yeah, we got him bonding with Omega. We got some like badass fighting from Wrecker finally. We got the funny Wrecker stuff, and then at the end we got more of that emotional. Like I love that he apologized. I thought that was great.
We got popcorn and we got Rex, so it wasn't terrible. But like I said, this is probably, other than next to like Space Dogs. Like here's Space Dogs, and then here's this episode.
Well, Space Dogs is also the episode that had Crosshair. Remember?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's not. That wasn't a bad episode either. Like there still hasn't been a bad episode in the show. Just ones that go, you could have fixed that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. Caitlin.
Yeah, I mean, like middle. I'd say like it is. There was cool stuff. We've been talking about stuff we didn't like as much, but there was cool stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just it very much to me. It felt like okay, that could have been better. Okay, you missed that opportunity. Should have done that differently. You know, like it felt just like I don't know, rushed. I guess. So
yeah.
I guess so for me it's sort of middling because. While the stuff with Wrecker was awesome, I'm super glad we got Rex back, and I actually kind of enjoyed Omega in this episode more than I have regularly. I'd say it was like a B-.
Yeah. For me, it's hard to say because I don't have the same connection to Rex that you guys have. Yeah. But you
didn't get that from this episode.
Yeah. Like I didn't get any of that from this episode, and I felt that was missing, because I not only do I know just from talking with you guys, but you can tell from his discussion with the rest of the Bad Batch that they had a history together. So the fact that none of that was addressed at all outside of hey, how you doing? It felt like there was just stuff missing. And
that's where I feel that like the cartoon section of this kid section of a show is, because if you look at the dynamic of characters we have, Hunter is the main hero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you got little kids watching the show as well too, and keep them focused on things instead of having Echo talk to Rex. You've got them. Oh, I just talked to Echo. I'm sorry. That was nuts. You have that little dynamic of, oh, shut up. you have that dynamic of, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. You had to skip the dynamic for the kids. Yeah, I got where you were going.
Yeah, I'm out.
My only comment to that is Rex's introduction in Rebels was better.
Yes, and it was fun.
Yeah, and it was a multi-episode arc. Like they do know how to do this. It's not like there's no precedent for it.
And Dave Filoni doesn't make bad Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like you're saying,
it
feels like we've been shitting all over this episode, but there were good moments in it. There were a lot of solid moments, like you said, like all of you guys said. The stuff with Rex or Wrecker, sorry, Wrecker was fantastic. But I feel like that is probably like the biggest redeeming factor of the episode was just everything with him. Whereas like everything else just kind of, it wasn't bad. It just fell flat.
It's because we're Star Wars fans and we get offended by little things.
I also think when Rex came in, my expectations jumped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So when they didn't meet that, like going back and watching it again, I bet I'll have less of an issue with it because I know it's not like going to be the best episode top tier with Rex. I'm like, okay, right. Rex comes in as kind of just more expositional than anything else in this episode. I bet I'll enjoy the episode more. But because Rex came in and I saw him, I was expecting it to be better because Rex is kind of like, he's the clone.
Yep. He's right. He's right before Commander Cody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just throw my hands up.
It's not a bad episode. It's just our expectations are higher for this because of Rex.
I mean, for me, it wasn't even that. It was just as soon as we found out what the storyline was going to be, that's when my hype kind of went up. Because, like, again, I don't know Rex from any of the other characters. So for me, it was the anticipation that we were going to get this like ticking time bomb out of the chips in the head, and then they just wrapped it all up in less than 5 minutes. It was just like, okay, Wrecker is gonna go crazy a little bit, but then we're gonna get the chips out, and everything is gonna go back to normal. And it's gonna be fine. Because like now, nothing is different going into this next episode as it was than it was coming into this one. As far as they know, they didn't know that the chips were a problem going into this episode, and now the chips aren't a problem because they got the chips out. So like nothing. I feel like nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed now is Wrecker feels bad about almost killing Omega. So I hope that kind of becomes a thing that plays into their relationship a little bit going forward. But outside of that, I don't know what this episode really accomplished.
Yeah, the nice thing with this episode that did accomplish, though, was we don't have any more chips in the head, and it started out like right in the thick of things. We haven't done an episode where we already knew they were going to start taking missions and stuff like that, but they were already in one. We were thinking they were going to be coming back from one and being like, hey, we came empty-handed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, because the chips have been set up since before the show started.
Right.
Years ago. Years.
Right. So, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, Josh, where it's like I expected this to be played out more because you're totally right. Nothing changed for them.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, as just coming into it, the chips are a new thing. Like I knew about them, but not as an audience member. I just knew that they were a thing that existed. So watching it play out, for you guys, you had all this build up to it because you knew that they were there. You watched other people. You watched all the other characters that had to deal with them. But for someone who just came into the series fresh, I don't think they would have the same connection to it.
Well, and they never really, I mean, besides the fact of being in, the clone inhibitor, the chips, that really wasn't mentioned until Clone Wars, the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they never said anything about that in Attack of the Clones,
Right.
in Revenge of the Sith or anything like that. So it was like that was where I feel like Clone Wars answered all those little miniature extra expositions and added the cherry on top of the milkshake.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
They should have sat in it a while.
I played the old episode 2 video game, and a lot of the missions in between were the clones talking about the missions, and it was always like this thing of they knew that they were going to betray the Jedi. So like the way they were doing it in that game was completely different than what we got. So it was always like, yeah, we're on this mission with them, but they don't know we're going to betray them later, type thing.
That's interesting.
So it sounds like from that, like maybe the chips weren't a thing, and all of them knew what was happening. Whereas now with the chips, when Palpatine went execute Order 66, it activated the chip.
Yeah.
Instead of telling the clones what to do, like it wasn't an order to the clones; it was an order to the chip.
Yeah.
Whereas in that game, it was an order to the clones.
That's interesting, because I mean the chip really it sets them up as the first generation stormtroopers because they're gonna do every single thing they're ordered. Versus that game, you almost like they have the free will. It sounds like.
Yeah.
But
I guess it was like programmed into them that they already knew what Order 66 was.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for us for this episode. I think we've pulled everything that we can out of episode 7, Battle Scars. Next week, we will be back again at about 11:40 with episode 8. Excuse me. Streams for this coming up weekend. Again, I'm not 100% sure what our schedule for Saturday is going to be, but there will be some of us down at the Comic Bug for the Walter Jones signing. And then on Sunday, you can join Bryce and Blackwing, aka Jonathan Jennings, or that should have been the other way around, Jonathan Jennings, aka Blackwing 2040, and Bryce's cousin, Ian, for the Retro Sentai wrap-up. Are you guys doing It's All Connected?
Yep, 1 p.m. Me, Bryce, and Richard will be doing It's All Connected. We will talk about the Marvel exclusives that we dropped this week. We will be talking Bad Batch, and we will be talking, of course, the first episode of Loki.
Man, did you see the gift box that Disney was setting out for Loki?
Yeah, they've got the creepy Miss Minutes clock.
Yeah, I'm going to hit up Joe and see if he got that because I want that clock. Like think
she's for sure gonna murder all of them, right?
I think it would look good like right like
yeah.
It'd be great. Then you just hear
she's like for sure an evil cartoon, right?
Nice. Particles. I don't know, I got that she to me she kind of just seemed like Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park.
That's what it felt like.
I mean that's definitely what they were going for with that video.
That felt like that, and then the intro sounds like the music you hear going into Space Mountain.
Yeah,
it does.
And man, I didn't really talk to you guys that much after the episode ended. After the stream. So that intro that I made, that video intro that I made for it, I had no idea that the end credits were going to look the way they did when I made that introduction video. So like that, I was like, I'm watching that, I'm like, well, fuck, like, I'm gonna have to throw that up on Twitter on its own, just as a thing, because I was like, that's so bizarre that I just came up with the same thing that they were doing.
That's a cool intro video.
I'm so happy with how that came out. It was. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with it, and then as soon as I saw that template available, I was like, I got it. I know exactly how I'm going to do this.
You do know the expectations are really high now for every Marvel show.
Yeah. So what's next after Loki?
What If?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for that one. I'm going to have to give that a lot of thought.
What is What If?
It's the first MCU animated show. It's the one where each episode is going to be a different story about what if something had changed in kind of the Infinity Saga. So I think the first one is what if Peggy Carter had become Captain America instead of Steve Rogers. So she is Captain Carter, and Steve Rogers is still like little skinny Steve in a big Iron Man suit built by Howard Stark called the Hydra Stomper.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's like, are you familiar with like the DC like Red Sun or like, you know, the Elseworld stories?
I did see the one where Superman was like grew up in Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's basically the same concept. It's
Okay.
it's all different takes on what could have happened if something different had happened.
Yeah, like we reported on Party Thor, which is basically it looks like Thor if he hadn't been sent to Earth. So he's still kind of that like dude bro guy, and he ends up coming to Earth to throw a party that could destroy the world.
It sounds
Sweet.
amazing.
I really
And then-
hope Star-Lord shows up for that.
Well, we are gonna have a T'Challa as Star-Lord, Black Panther.
Cool.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really fun series.
Mhm.
So yeah, Sunday after it's all connected later on in the evening at 8:00, we will have the Illuminati Wrestling Order, where they will be talking about everything that's happened the past week in the world of wrestling. And then starting next weekend, Sunday nights, after the Illuminati Wrestling Order, will be the Rick and Morty Smoke Along, where myself, Nate from the wrestling show, Brandon, and I think Daniel and Sam may be joining us. We'll have to see how that all kind of works out, and we'll be was it reefer? Is that what the kids are calling it these days? Like smoking the ganj? I don't.
Yep, that's 100%
Yeah,
accurate.
that's
Exactly
what the
what
cool
Gen
kids
Z
are
is saying.
No, we'll be partaking of the cannabis while watching Rick and Morty and doing basically the same thing that we're doing here, but stoned.
So curious if Brandon is going to be harder to understand.
I'm gonna go with yes. But I guess we'll see. So yeah, before we go, any last thoughts?
We also have the Marvel Watch Along on Tuesday night for Loki.
Loki episode 2 coming up on Tuesday.
11:40 p.m.
And then if Shane and I can ever figure out what we're doing with Twitch, we'll be on there eventually doing something. I don't know. Rob, any big house parties coming up that you're DJing that people can try and sneak into?
Ooh, I got some cool stuff coming up in Carlsbad later in the year. We've got a remote controlled DJ stage going to be happening in.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. Going to be October, November, December, and with a maybe showtime in July 4th.
Nice.
So, other than that, go check out Area 5150 on Instagram. And on
I can see your eyes like, what do I say? Yeah.
And I don't know. I just get a script and I read it. I don't advertise shit. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
You want to follow me on IG?
I remember at our Morphicon party when you sent like the entire room over to the VIP bar, and I'm standing there turning people away, going, no, this is the VIP section. Go away. And they're like, well, the DJ just told us to come over. I was like, fucking Rob.
Yep. That was my fault. Yeah, you all go over to the VIP section. Go say hi to everybody over there. Oh man.
After the fact, it was funny, but I was so annoyed while it was happening.
I mean, I was so happy that Jason David Frank left at that point. And what was the other one?
Hector David, the guy that was doing the
Hector David. That night, Hector David was like on another level, man. He DJs as well too, so it was like I should have just gave him the controls for like a little bit, just because they would have enjoyed that. Yeah. But when he did a backflip off the stereo speaker, I was like, bro, goals. I
just had to turn around. I was like, I can't watch this. I don't
The only thing I was really thinking of that point, though, I was like, those aren't my speakers. So you do you, dog. You do you. You're a Power Ranger. If you don't land on your feet, there's a problem. Like, I'd be like, your Power Ranger card got revoked because all y'all came here to watch him do a backflip, right? Okay.
You're a Power Ranger. You got this.
Power Ranger, you are done now. Oh man.
JD, I don't know what you would have to plug, but anything you would like anyone to know about.
That was nice, Josh.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I don't
You're
know.
just like,
It's
you probably
late.
have nothing. Do you have something?
Nah, man, I'm good.
I just gotta put you on the spot for absolutely no reason
I'll be at
whatsoever.
McDonald's on Saturday at some point. I don't know.
JD doing a signing with a Big Mac at the McDonald's in Hollywood, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, look for me. Everyone, just go and look for me.
What's your cash app so that they can buy you a 6-piece?
What's a cash app?
What's a cash app?
All right. I think that's it. We'll see you guys later. I don't know how to end this.
Nanu.
Shot.